It's Heels on Wheels, the racing show by female racers, for female racers, about female racers, featuring female racers, with a few surprises thrown in. Heels on Wheels is brought to you by Renew Salon and Spa, Excelsior Racing, and Dragonflies and Nymphs Creation. And now, here are your hosts, Krista Elise, Taylor Hyatt, Gene Kinzer-Dana, Stacy Grammer, and Emily Gotti.
Thanks for tuning in to the Heels on Wheels radio program. I'm the executive producer, Taylor Hyatt, and we have an amazing show lined up for you today. We have two great ladies for you this week. First up, the fastest woman on water, Lisa Matthews, and then motorcycle stunt woman, Leah Petersen. Now, media is everywhere, so stick around for our Racing Roundtable to hear what our ladies have to say about all the media involved in the racing world. KDP is back with more from Beauty's Got Muscle, and as always, Chef Sizzlin Scotty with another great grill and dish. So let's put those heels in drive and get this show on the road. Ladies, let's talk racing news. There's a lot going on as always, so Krista, what do you have for us this week?
This is a perfect time to talk about NHRA drag racing because the first race of the season is actually coming up this weekend, February 6th through 9th. And the first race of the season is going to be at Auto Club Raceway at Pomona in California. So that should be a very, very good one to kick off the season. And we'll see who comes out strong and who comes out flat.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be exciting. I've seen a lot of stuff on the internet about this event. It's going to be a good one. So we haven't really talked about this since the first show of the year, but I do want to talk about Michael Schumacher just for a second. I read this morning that they're trying to wake him up out of the coma, and things are not looking as good as they had hoped.
I'm really sorry to hear that he's doing so poorly. I know it was a pretty bad accident, but I was staying positive that he would have been, better at this point, better off anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a horrible accident, especially, and it's not even racing related. I mean, I really hope that they can turn things around for him. But like I said, as of right now, the web is telling us otherwise. So all of us will definitely keep him in our thoughts and prayers for sure. So I like this next story. Paige Decker, who has been on some of the other shows on the network, made the NASCAR Drive for Diversity with 5 other guys this past week. So she's, getting up there and getting into the NASCAR world, and good for her.
Yeah, it's really nice to see so many women, come up and succeed in NASCAR. I know that, Joe Cobb and you got Danica Patrick, and, they're pretty successful in, the truck racing and then the headlining NASCAR races. But I feel like the field is still tilted. And it's excellent to see that she's making her way up. I think she has a lot of potential.
Yeah, and one other thing with NASCAR, good news for Tony Stewart fans. They say that he should be good to go for the Daytona 500. Everything's looking good for him. He's doing good in rehab and all that. So he should be good to go for the Daytona 500, which I know a lot of his fans will breathe easy knowing that. I do want to introduce our other host that we have alongside myself and Krista this week, and that's Diana Clausen. She's been on the show with us a few times, and she's going to help us out today. Hi, Diana.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. I love Heels on Wheels, so I really am excited about tonight's show.
Thanks. Well, we love having you, that's for sure. So a couple more things here. Ross Brawn is retiring from Formula One. I know that's kind of throwing people off, I think. I don't know too much about him, but I know he's been very influential in the Formula One world.
Formula One. That's a straight line girl. I don't really follow Formula One a lot.
Diana, what's going on in the racing world with you?
Formula One, I got to tell you, I do prefer Formula over NASCAR, but in my heart, I'm a drag racing girl. So as far as the latest and the greatest, I got nothing with Formula One What I do know is there's going to be a MotoGP coming up in April at our brand new F1 track in Austin, Texas. And it's going to be chills, thrills, probably lots of spills. But I don't think they've had much bike racing out on that track. So it should be very interesting to see how that MotoGP goes.
Yeah, that will be very interesting. Krista and I, a couple weeks ago, were talking about the new Formula E, and they are setting up their headquarters and team facilities on the Downingtown Park racing circuit. So I think that's due to they're building that this coming month, I think. So that's going to be up and running, and I think that shows you how into this whole Formula E thing they're really getting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited to see that. I mean, you know, I'm a purist when it comes to racing. The sounds, the smells. I mean, everything adds to the experience as a fan. But, you know, I've never been in the position of being a driver, but I'd love to see how the drivers react to that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the fans like it too. I mean, hasn't been too much going on in changes in Formula One, so it's going to be exciting to see how the fans take that too. One other thing in NASCAR news, there's a lot going on there this week. There's an 18-year-old boy, Dylan, and I'm not going to even try to butcher his last name. He's getting a full ride with Turner Scott Motorsports in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. I mean, this kid is only 18, and to get a full ride with NASCAR, I mean, that's awesome.
So, you know, I haven't really read about him before, but he's really talented at a young age, apparently, because I think that, you know, they just don't put stock in anyone. That's serious business, and sponsorship is so hard to come by. And, I mean, you really have to develop your up-and-coming young drivers. They are the future of the sport. So, you know, best of luck to him. I think that he will take the opportunity to prove himself on this one.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like I said, there's a lot going on in NASCAR. There's not really much else going on this week. I think everybody's really waiting for racing season to start. I mean, there's a couple of things that have started already, like SCCA, some of their majors events, and like Krista said, you'll have to watch out for NHRA this week. I think there's a World Rally Championship race this week. So you'll have to watch out for those two things. But other than that, there's not much else going on.
Hey, I'm getting my car back this weekend, I think. That's going on.
There you go. Krista's getting her car back. She's been working on that for how long?
At least 6 months. Don't get me started.
All right. Well, on that note, let's go see what Scotty has on the grill.
Well, thanks, ladies. And yes, this is Sizzlin, Scotty, and got another fantastic recipe for you this week. You know, tailgate season is a 365-day-a-year event. Any day is good for tailgating, and sometimes we like to try a new recipe, and we've got one for you here today. Something that we haven't tried here with Sizzlin' Scotty, and this is a stuffed mushroom, and we're going to stuff this with some chorizo sausage. So let's get right into the ingredients list. And ladies, we toned down the heat a little bit on these because not everybody likes things super spicy, but these are very flavorful, especially because of our ingredients list. So here we go. We're going to use one large Spanish chorizo sausage, and this can be about anywhere from about 4 to 6 ounces. You can get them at your local meat market or your specialty store. We're going to use 18 large white mushrooms, 1/3 of a cup plus 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1/3 finely diced onion. We're going to use 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. We're going to go with 1/2 cup of reduced sodium chicken stock. And we're going to go 2 tablespoons of finely chopped parsley. And we're going to go with 1/3 of a cup coarsely grated Manchego cheese. And that's a little harder cheese, Mexican-style cheese, and it's awesome. So let's get right into the directions here. We're going to cut this chorizo into 1-inch pieces, and we're going to put them up in the food processor. Easy for me to say, ladies. And we're going to pulse that until it's finely chopped. We're going to set that aside. Now, the reason we're doing it in the food processor is Spanish chorizo has a much firmer texture than Mexican chorizo. So just cutting up with a knife really doesn't cut it, pun intended. So we're going to pulse that in the food processor. And I'll give it really nice little pieces that we're looking for here. Remove the stems from the mushrooms and mince half of the stems. This can be done with the work bowl of the food processor if you'd like. And then we're going to set those aside. And we're going to brush the mushroom caps with the 1 tablespoon of olive oil. We're going to set those aside onto a baking sheet. We're going to pour the 1/3 cup of olive oil into a large skillet over medium-high heat. We're going to add the onion and the minced mushroom stems. And we're going to cook, stirring those until soft. We're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper in there. Give it a little seasoning because, as we said, salt helps everything out, bring out those flavors. And we're going to do that for about 2 to 3 minutes, ladies. And then we're going to add the breadcrumbs. And we're going to toss and stir until golden brown. Scrape those breadcrumb mixture out of the pan, set into a bowl, and set those aside. Now we're going to wipe the skillet clean that we just used. Always trying to reuse pots and pans in order to reduce our cleanup after. We're going to add the minced chorizo, and we're going to cook that over high heat until very fragrant and glossy. And that's going to be about 3 minutes. Add the breadcrumb mixture to that. Add the chicken stock and the parsley and fluff it up with a fork. Cook it up. You don't really need to cook it up that long because everything's still pretty much heated. So mix that up so that all those flavors are nice and happy. We're going to stir in the manchego cheese. And then what we're going to do, ladies, is we're going to take a spoon and we're going to start filling the mushroom caps. We're going to mound those attractively. Give them a nice little mound in each. And we're going to then we're going to have those on that baking sheet, and we're going to bake those at a preheated 400-degree oven. And we're going to bake those for about 20 to 25 minutes. And we're going to serve those nice and hot and warm, and it's nice because it's a finger food, but it also can be used up with a fork and a knife. And again, you can augment this recipe a little bit if you wanted to add some spice to it, if you wanted to add some jalapeno to it. If you wanted to add your own favorite spice blend. But this is a great recipe that it's really good for you. It's got a lot of great flavor, and I'm sure that everybody at the tailgate will really love this. And ladies, and to our listeners and to our lovely lady panel, all these recipes can be found on my Facebook page, which is Tailgate Grillin' with Sizzlin and Scotty. You can also find it on the Facebook page for Heels on Wheels. And you can also give us a like or give us a comment. Let us know what you'd like to do in a future show. So with that said, this is Sizzlin and Scotty for Heels on Wheels, and we'll be right back after this break.
Ladies, become empowered with firearms training at Veritas Training Academy in Sarasota, Florida. Veritas will teach you what the bad guys don't want you to know. No prior firearms experience needed. Classes fill up quickly, so don't delay. 941-447-7089. That's 941-447-7089 for class dates and times. Veritas also offers firearm safety and concealed carry courses as well as private lessons to hone your firearm skills and provide you with all the information you need to stay compliant with the law. Veritas Training Academy, 941-447-7089. Or check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/trainveritas.
Automotive enthusiast, have you modified your ride and want to see how much horsepower it'll put down? Look for bragging rights amongst your buddies whether you're running big boost or a big block. RP Performance has your answer. Featuring a state-of-the-art two-wheel drive Dyno Dynamics chassis dyno, RP Performance can measure your current power or help tune your car for maximum power. And for you power junkies, want to drive a fully prepared race car flat out around one of the East Coast's finest road courses? RP Performance also offers race car rentals for all your track day events. Host your next corporate team building event with the need for speed. Gift certificates are available for dyno services and track car rental. RP Performance is located at Summit Point Raceway, just minutes from Winchester. Visit them online at rpperformanceracing.com or call 304-728-6749 for more information. RP Performance, your Mazda Street performance and racing specialist.
If you're an up-and-coming blues artist or band looking for representation to get the word out to radio, clubs, venues, festivals, and to the listening public, you'll want to consider Killstack Music Group. With years of experience in the Mid-Atlantic region, Killstack Music Group is extending a unique opportunity to artists with a passion and determination to go to great heights in the blues music world. Killstack Music Group works only with musicians that are serious about their craft and are looking to form solid business relationships with the entertainment industry. If you're ready to take your career to the next level, consider Killstack Music Group. Committed representation, professional service with access to the industry's inner circle. Contact Killstack via email at welcomekillstackmusic.com or go online at killstackmusic.com.
Where girl power meets horsepower. It's Heels on Wheels on the PerformanceMotorsportsNetwork.com.
We're back with the Heels on Wheels radio program, and I have Lisa Matthews, who is a powerboat racer. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hi, I'm great.
This is Taylor Hyatt, and I'm here with Krista Elise and Diana Clausen, and we're really happy to have you on the show today.
It's a pleasure.
So tell us how you got into this type of racing.
How long have I been in type of this racing? I've been racing since I was probably 7 to 9. I was karting when I was like 9 years old.
And
so I would say over 30 years.
Wow. And now you're racing boats, correct?
Yeah, I race boats. I've been racing boats for over 15 years, and I just finished the Baja 1000. So I do a little boats and cars and a little of everything.
So how did you get involved in racing in the first place? Was it your family, or did you just have that drive to go out and race?
I did not have any family members who were involved in racing. I was a tomboy. I grew up, I went to a go-kart track when I was probably 7 or 9 with my brother, and it just stuck with me. It was just one of those things when I got in the seat behind the wheel, it just took over my body. It was just something that I had to do. And so probably since the age of 7 to 9 is really when I realized that's what I wanted to do. It's just something with the wheel.
Again and again, you hear of successful racers like yourself starting out on the go-kart track. I think that's excellent. But for you, how is it going from water to dirt?
It's hard when I'm racing in a boat. You know, you're hitting the waves and you get behind the wheel. I think it comes with the confidence when I sit in the seat and I put the harness on. I've got the helmet on, and as soon as I start the engine, I'm so calm. It's so peaceful. I don't think about anything. It's not about adrenaline. It's about I'm comfortable what I'm doing. And when you're going 100, 120 on the water and you're hitting those waves versus going in the Baja 1000, going down the cliff, it's the same. It's hard to explain. It's just something I am more comfortable racing than I am in dating. And people look at me and they're like, "Are you serious?" But that's just what I do. I love it. It's just a passion I have.
So tell us how you got the title of the fastest woman on water.
In 2000, and every year, Lake of the Ozarks, outside of St. Louis, has Powerboat Magazine hosts a yearly event, and they bring all the boats together. And I own my own team on my own boat, which is a Fountain. And MTI came out. That's the factory manufacturer of the boat. It's a catamaran, open top. And I had the opportunity to run 3 runs in an MTI. And out of the 3 runs, they divided up, and they got the overall speed of 156 miles per hour. I was the driver behind the wheel. The first attempt we did 170, and the second attempt we did like 149, 150. So that's how they got the 156. And Powerboat Magazine for many years would always do the top boats once a year. And before I did it, another young lady did it, but she was at 110. But I was racing on the circuit for OSS professionally already. So to hit the 150 was awesome. It was just something that it just happened. They were recording it that year when I was there. And it has to be sanctioned in with UIM.
That's amazing because, I mean, we consider 120 fast in a car. And having to deal with all the waves, the unpredictability in a boat, I mean, that definitely has to feel like a completely different experience.
You have to trust yourself. You have to know. Everything's in the feel. I can feel everything. I know the motor. I know the sound. I know the exhaust. Everything's in the feel. I feather the wheel, and it feels right. And you've got to know the wind. You're always looking ahead. It's just I try to explain it to some people. You know what you're doing when you're in there, but it takes training, and it's a lot of experience, and it's not something you just do overnight. It's something I grew into, and I just kept going faster and faster. I mean, I have been faster, but not officially on record yet, and I know there's a boat that can go 220 that I've personally driven. It's just to get the radar gun and to get it official, it'll happen in a turbine.
Wow.
It's out there.
That's amazing.
Well,
so
some women like tennis.
so tell us about some of the charities that you work with as well. You're really into that.
I do a lot with the Veterans Association, with the Veterans Group. I take children out, the Make-A-Wish. I'm really close to there's the Young Disadvantaged Girls Inc. So I do a lot of children and a lot of veterans. And being a single mom, raising 2 kids and working, I have a stronger connection, with the veterans who served our country that are actually injured. Wounded Warriors is another one, but also for the young teens. It's just, I've been doing that for many years, and then the Special Olympics, the handicapped children.
That's awesome. So, Diana, I know you probably have some questions for Lisa as well.
I'm sitting here with chills, Lisa. I am just blown away by you. I got to tell you. I mean, just from you in your background, racing and having your sea legs, except not regular sea legs. It's 156-mile-an-hour sea legs. I'm from Florida. So I get it. You get the feel of the water. You kind of know what to anticipate. And it's like riding a horse, taking each buck at a time sometimes. But, wow. And then you're single mom, doing your job, taking care of the kids, helping others. My God, we've got to come up with an award. And it's got to go to you because I'm absolutely inspired. I'm so glad that you're on the show tonight, Lisa.
Thank you. I mean, I'm like, to hear, I'm just, thank you so much. I mean, sincerely, thank you. It's a hard work, When I finished the Baja 1000 this past November, it was something to me because in my boat racing world, I've lost many friends to death, for injuries. I've flipped my boat. I've been trapped in my boat. I had a near-death experience, but I did get literally back on the horse and went back out and raced again several times. And I decided to go play in the new sandbox with the Baja 1000, and I had an amazing time. And 31 hours running that thing and finishing it was difficult, but you don't give up, You just don't give up. And if it's your passion, what you love to do, and people don't understand, racers are racers. Women can do anything, whether, you put on the helmet, it doesn't matter if you're a male or female. Your passion's going to come out. I don't like tennis. I don't play tennis. I love racing, but it did start go-karting. I mean, I karting. I think I was 7 with my first karting experience.
Speaking of dirt racing and, land sports, how did the Baja 1000 go for you?
It was awesome. I had a custom Baja car. It was custom built by, I think, Roger Norman. We placed 4th. We finished. We flipped the car. We barrel rolled it. We did everything you possibly could. We didn't give up. We had B.F. Goodrich kind of helping us, and I had an amazing team and crew chief. And we finished the race, and it was the most difficult race I've ever experienced. And when I took off my helmet at the finish line, the cameras are on you, I was speechless. He goes, "What's the difference between land and sea?" And I just said, "Awesome." That's all I could say was awesome. I was so proud that our team finished, and I was the one that got to finish the last leg and drove it across the finish line. It was something that I had to do for myself. The never give up attitude no matter what you go through in life, because I lost somebody recently. And so that was a way for me to get back in racing, and maybe not the boat, but I'll just go do the Baja. It's just, it was an inside joke with my friends. It's like, well, if you don't like the sandbox with one, why don't you come play in our big sandbox? So I did. That's how I did. I mean, so I'm going to go back
playing
and
in the sandbox. I mean, you're trying to juggle 2 schedules this season. So where can people find out about what races you're planning on going to this year? I mean, you are somebody that people want to go see.
Thank you so much. I mean, I'm so small. I mean, I really am grassroots racing. I wash my boat. I flush my motors. I mean, I haul it around. I change the oil. I mean, but I have Lisa Matthews Racing Facebook fan page, and I just started that. And I have something called Helmet to Heels that I'm working on, because I think, you can wear a helmet in everyday life and you can wear heels, but you can also heal yourself for what you go through in life and still follow your passion. So I've got a couple projects I'm working on. But Lisa Matthews Racing on the fan page on Facebook right now. Yeah, I have no big sponsors. I'm just, literally a single mom with 2 kids, and I'm in the recycling world with a real job for this many years.
So tell us who your sponsors are.
Well, right now, they're small sponsors. I mean, in the Baja, I had B.F. Goodrich. I had One Steel Recycling, the company that I work for. I had lots of many small sponsors, and a lot of them were family friends, where, $1,000 here, $5,000 here, $2,000 here. It adds up, and it helps pay for everything. When I was racing for Mercury, I had Mercury would give me, in-kind donations, but a lot of it was a lot of grassroots racing. My entire career was always grassroots racing.
That's awesome that you have that many people helping you, though. I mean, like you said, every little bit counts. So I just want to say it's been great speaking with you, Lisa, and I'm sure we will be following your career and hopefully have you back on the show soon.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
All right, everybody, this has been Taylor Hyatt along with Krista Elise and Diana Clausen for Heels on Wheels. We'll be right back after these messages.
Shopping around for your racing gear, driving from store to store only to find they don't have what you want? Barter's Racing Collectibles on Black Gap Road in Fayetteville, Pennsylvania has it all. The hottest NASCAR, IRL, and NHRA diecast, t-shirts, jackets, flags, and more. Everything racing. Stop by or check out their website, www.partnersracing.com, or call 717-352-2782. You'll be surprised at the selection, prices, and friendly client service. UPS, FedEx, and USPS shipping available. Farners Racing Collectibles, www.farnersracing.com, or call 717-352-2787. Farners Racing Collectibles, where racing comes alive.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your wait is over. Finally, hot rodding has come home to the hub of motorsports, Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm Redline Ryan.
And I'm the Tasman.
And we are Cruise Control Extreme. Cruise Control Extreme, Fridays at 7:30. Go to cruisecontroltv.com for a channel near you. Cruise Control Extreme, Charlotte's original hot rod show.
Hi, I'm Mickey for Bed Bug Detection Services. Bed Bug Detection Services rescues dogs from the Humane Society and the SPCA, then trains them at the Florida Canine Academy. We then pair them up with a handler where they will spend the rest of their lives in a happy family home working in the community. We want to rescue our second dog, but we cannot do it without your help. We are fundraising to bring home our next canine. Please go to bbds.us, that's bbds.us, and do your part in helping us rescue another dog. bbds.us will give life, home, and a meaning to another dog. bbds.us. With every donation, you will receive a signed postcard from our current bed bug detection dog rescue, Lily. Go to bbds.us. And thank you.
You got it locked to Heels on Wheels, the PerformanceMotorsportsNetwork.com, a member of the Scorpion Radio Group. Now back to the women wearing the driver's suits.
Hey everyone, we're back with Heels on Wheels, and I have motorcycle stunt woman Leah Petersen here to tell us how she got into this awesome sport. Hi Leah, how are you?
Doing good, how are you?
We are doing well. I have Krista Elise and Diana Clausen here with me as well. So why don't you go ahead and tell us how you got involved in racing and motorcycles?
Well, I got involved in motorcycles about 10 years ago when I bought my first street bike. I was living in New York City and I picked up a Gixxer 600. And I just fell in love with riding. I ended up riding it across the country and just wanted to spend as much time as possible on it. And then I saw some people doing wheelies one day, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. So as a pretty mundane start to what has become a pretty amazing career.
Yeah.
What made you decide? I mean, it's completely different as a motorcycle rider cruising the country and actually getting into stunting, because that takes a lot of skill and a lot of talent. What made you decide to get into that?
I think the appeal of it was both the community itself in addition to the actual sport that we're doing. It's a really fun kind of underground, up-and-coming culture, and because we're all doing this niche thing, I have, enthusiasts around the world who, we kind of are like a tight-knit family because of what we do and how it's so specialized. So that was really appealing to me, in addition to just learning the stuff on the motorcycles. It's really challenging, and there's a lot of fear to overcome. And so for me, kind of the end result is just so rewarding that I keep doing it.
How do you train for something like that? That really has to be difficult.
Yeah, it definitely is. Training is one of the hardest parts because it's not really a sanctioned sport, and there's really no legal places to do it. So we can't really go to the track because what we do is really abrasive to the surface. We're doing burnouts and we're crashing, and we're scraping up the surface really bad. So we're not really welcome at racetracks. And there's not a lot of money in the sport, so nobody's built a specialized park for it. And then additionally, we can't really get on like public places like a skate park or something like that because it's a motorized vehicle at the end of the day. So it's really tricky. And basically, we just have to find a safe location where we're not bothering anyone and we're not an insurance liability. And we just kind of have to stay out of the public's eye while we train. And then it's kind of funny because, I book shows all around the world. So I kind of come out of the shadows for my shows and then retreat back into them. So hopefully someday we'll have a more legitimate place to train, but for now we just do the best we can.
So you just said you travel a lot, and I know last time I talked to you, you were in Asia. So is there a difference of how people race and do the stunts over here and what you see when you're traveling in other countries?
Yeah, I definitely notice a big difference from country to country. I think the most visible difference when you step outside the U.S. is just the general stigma around two-wheeled vehicles in general, because they're so utilitarian in places like Europe and Asia, where people of all ages and sexes are riding them every single day. So you have less of the like motorcycle gang, rebellious kind of stigma that you have in America, which makes people much more open to what we're doing. So that's always interesting for me to see. And beyond that, every country kind of has their own style in terms of what they're wanting to wear and models of bikes that they're really wanting. But I think the biggest difference for me is just that mentality shift when you step outside the U.S.
I have a question for you. You mentioned the stigma of riding a bike. And as a fellow rider, I'm aware of a difference between the stigma of riding a sport bike and of riding a cruiser or Harley type bike. So, I mean, do you find that people do judge you a lot just based on, what you ride in the industry?
Yeah, I definitely run into that a lot. It's really dichotomized, and you have the cruisers and the sport bikes, and we kind of stand on our own side and look down on the other side, which I think is really unfortunate. And I kind of feel like stunt riding in a way breaks that barrier down, because what we're doing is so unlike the really normalized like motorcycle racing or going to Sturgis. We're kind of bridging a gap where it's like we just love riding motorcycles, and it's much less about the machine and more about just the community and learning these skills together and kind of finding a common ground. So I think motorcycle stunt riding, just because it's so different and off the map, it kind of helps bring the cultures together a little bit.
So you started this website, stuntbums.com. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I started that website about, I guess, 4 or 5 years ago now, and it just started more as a way to let people know what stunt riding is for both beginner riders who want to get into stunt riding, and additionally the general public who might see something on the news or they might see an event and they're just curious to know kind of what all the wheelies and endos and burnouts mean. So it's definitely turned into a really positive project, and I'm happy that it provides a place for new riders to go and get ideas about the sport, and also it helps people learn safer. So, we always are promoting safety first, and it seems like it could be a dangerous thing, but really if you do it right, it can be really relatively safe. So we're always wanting people to take a little bit of time before they learn how to do it correctly.
So, Diana, I know you are probably sitting on the edge of your seat waiting to ask questions.
Absolutely, and I got to say, it always comes down to the boys' club. How is it? I mean, you find when you're around a new set of guys at a new track or at a new venue, do you sometimes feel like you're still under that microscope because you're a female?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's a huge component to being a female in this industry, is that everything you do kind of is behind this veil of your sex. And obviously, everyone kind of takes it differently. Some people think it's really awesome. And then other people, obviously want to try and bring you down for some reason. And I mean, it's something that I still grapple with, although it's not as bad as it used to be. When I was first learning, it was a huge thing for me because, you fall down literally when you're learning how to stunt ride, and, it's embarrassing for anybody. So when I was first beginning and just, feeling that spotlight on me, I can understand why it would make a lot of people quit altogether. But pushing through, eventually there was a tipping point for me. And I think that's when I started doing stunt bums and I started traveling a lot, where people kind of realize that I'm here to stay, and I really do care about the community and I want to make a positive impact on it. So I kind of have got like a pass into the boys club, I feel, and more often than not that I have a very positive reception everywhere I go. But the steep hill to get there was definitely challenging at times.
I get it. I mean, as a female, when you screw up, it's magnified, and it's like, well, wait a minute. If I were a guy, you guys wouldn't give a second thought, much less make a big deal of it. So I understand, and I really applaud you for keeping it going, keeping up the passion and the momentum, and the longevity is definitely going to be, I think, your best friend. They say don't tell them, just show them, and you're showing them. So good job. Good job. Amazing.
Oh, thank you very much.
You mentioned before that to train, you guys go back into a parking lot where you're not bothering anybody. But how do you induct, new members of the team into training? I mean, is there something formal, or do you just kind of work with them as they go?
Yeah, that's definitely a sticky situation because stunt riding can be so kind of like faddish for people. They see a wheelie and it's flashy and it's cool and they think that's what they want to do. And then they'll try it and realize it involves crashing your bike, a ton of time in the garage to keep your bike maintained and also built for the sport. It really takes a lot of time and energy and resources. So a lot of people end up giving up. So we do have that issue where it's like we can't have people coming out to the spot crashing, hurting themselves, possibly hurting, the environment that we're practicing in. So it definitely there's a weird kind of, it's an informal initiation, I would say, where, we just use our better judgment to kind of gauge the person and how serious they are. And, that normally comes across in how they talk about it and kind of their goals for what they want to get out of it. But it's very informal. And, right now we try and support people as much as we physically can.
So before we run out of time here, you also, by looking at your website, you're also really involved in art as well, correct?
Yes.
So there was a lot of cool stuff on your website. Tell us about some of the stuff you come up with and why you're so involved in art.
Yeah, art has always been a passion of mine, and I was moving around so much in my early 20s that I kind of had taken a step back from it. And since I came back to LA about 2 years ago, I really kind of dove back into it. And it's an exciting outlet for me, I think, just to kind of, the motorcycles, you have to be so extroverted, and I'm in crowds and I'm performing in front of grandstands. And so for me, as kind of a person who does also enjoy my quiet time and my alone time, kind of being able to take a step back and go into the studio and just express myself in that way has been really therapeutic for me. And I'm hoping in the future I can find a way to kind of mix the two passions, and I have some pretty exciting ideas for that. So hopefully I'll be able to bring those to light in the next couple years.
Well, we can't wait to see that for sure.
You know what? Before we go, we're about to run out of the time. Can you tell people where they can find you on the web, and maybe mention any sponsors that you have? Just give them a shout out.
Yeah, definitely. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at /Leah Stunts. That's Leah Stunts. And I also have my website, which is leahstunts.com. And I definitely always want to thank Icon Motorsports. They're my gear helmet sponsor, and they are so awesome in supporting this sport. It's such a weird thing to support because, like I just explained, it's half illegal, half applauded. So they really find a way to help move both the athletes and the sport forward. So.
Well, Leah, it's been great talking with you today. You've got some really cool stuff going on, and we're definitely going to follow up on you and catch up with you later.
Right on. Well, thank you so much, ladies. It was great talking to you.
No problem. Great having you. This has been Taylor Hyatt along with Krista Elise and Diana Clausen for Heels on Wheels Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Attention, ladies. Veritas Training Academy in Sarasota, Florida will take you from zero to hero with their Women with Weapons training course. You'll learn basic skills and some advanced techniques such as moving and shooting and reloading under stress. No prior firearms experience is needed to attend this 6.5-hour course. Call today at 941-447-7089. That's 941-447-7089 for upcoming class dates and times. Veritas also offers firearm safety and concealed carry courses as well as private lessons. Veritas Training Academy in Sarasota, Florida. Don't be the victim the bad guys are looking for. Check out Veritas on Facebook at facebook.com/trainveritas.
Everyone has a cell phone and everyone pays for cell service, right? Wrong. Life Mobile offers you a way to get free, unlimited calling, text, and internet with up to and including 4G speeds through your favorite carrier, FREE. That's free forever. With Life Mobile, when you refer 3 of your friends, your service becomes free. Help your friends get 3 and theirs becomes free. Hurry on over to the number 3, makeitfree.com. That's 3makeitfree.com. Learn how easy it is to never see a cell phone bill again. Go to www.3makeitfree.com and get started now. That's 3makeitfree.com. Life Mobile. Life made easy.
So you're an up-and-coming blues player or band. You're working the clubs and booking your own gigs, and that's worked pretty well for you for the last couple of years, hasn't it? But now you think you're ready for the big time, and you have no idea how to break into that circle. Joining the right management team is the next most important career decision you will make. Killstack Music Group is the answer. Killstack Music Group has expanded, and that expansion opens a few select positions in their artist management department for established blues artists and new blues sensations. If you have the chops and you have the drive, Killstack Music Group would like to hear from you. Contact them via email at welcome@killstackmusic.com or go online at killstackmusic.com.
This is Heels on Wheels on the PerformanceMotorsportNetwork.com. Now, back to the fastest ladies on 4 wheels.
Hey guys, this is Katie from Beauty's Got Muscle. So, this week, I want to talk to you all about why Super Bowl 48 sucked. And it probably sucked for a lot of people in many different ways. For me, Super Bowl is all about the car commercials and hot wings. That's all I care about. That's the only reason I'm around for it. And this year, the hot wings were great, but the car commercials were dog crap. It was like every car company in the world looked at a pile of shit and said, you know what? This is good. We'll serve this to them. And they believed that we would take it. And that is a blatant insult to my face. And guess what? I'm sending the plate of crap back. I'm sending it back right now. And we're starting with the Audi A3 Dober Wawa commercial, where they just had a Doberman Pinscher mixed with a Chihuahua, and I'm expected to laugh at that. I would have laughed if it made any goddamn sense to me. I was too confused at the end, because they had me going with this Doberman Pinscher Chihuahua taking over the world and killing everybody, and then all of a sudden at the end they're like, compromise scares us too. Buy an Audi A3. What? It's a pile of confusing lies. Compromise is a great thing. Look it up. It's in the Constitution, man. That's how we get to places. That's how couples move forward in the world. Anyway, moving on. We have way too many commercials to go over. Then we have the Kia K900. We had Morpheus from The Matrix, Opera, and a Kia. And the Kia is being passed for a luxury vehicle. Nope. I didn't see Keanu Reeves enter that commercial once. And Morpheus singing opera, it doesn't sell it. It's just a world of fake. And the Kia being a luxury car then is being emphasized by being a world of fake. So I'm not sold. We're moving on. Then you had the Hyundai 2014 Elantra. We had Leonard from The Big Bang Theory on it, and he was trying to hit on this girl who was really mean and somehow had these weird powers to basically control the world. So when Leonard say, oh, good acceleration, she goes, nice detonation, and all of a sudden the ground explodes. So the Zeus bitch can suck it, because I think she's a piece of crap, and also she chose a crap car to drive in to begin with. Real smug. Real smug. Then we have the Toyota Highlander with Muppets and Terry Crews. Now that's a cheap shot, because everybody loves the Muppets, and if you don't love the Muppets, you're probably scared of them, which... I don't understand. Anyway, Terry Crews, if you cast him, he should be shirtless and dancing, which actually happened as well. I think they just use things that they know everybody likes, and I don't like that. I like creativity. I like original ideas. I'm a sucker for the Muppets, but you're not going to trick me so easy, Toyota, because at the end of that commercial you say, Toyota, let's go places, or something like that, and I won't have it. Then we had Volkswagen talking about they have more cars on the road that are over 100,000 miles. Well, that's probably because nobody's buying new cars from Volkswagen, so all your cars are very old, so they have high mileage. And Germans with wings, since when? Is that funny? Chevy really pushed the Silverado. I was really kind of hoping to see a commercial about the Vet, something ridiculous or something awesome, or just to even look at the Vet. I would have been very happy with that. But they did have that really nice ad for people who are currently battling cancer and cancer survivors, so well done, Chevy. As always, you're my favorite. The Ford Fusion Hybrid campaigning their EPA of nearly double the average of cars on the market today. That's like going speed dating and the person in front of you sits down. I'm like, I'm nearly clear from herpes. Well, I'm definitely not dating you, and I'm definitely not buying it. Ford, why don't you wait till you're actually double, and then we'll talk. Then you have Chrysler, who did a 2-minute long ad. Not allowed. I'm sorry. Every car commercial that was done was a minute long. If we start letting them have 2 minutes, then we're going to have commercials to our commercials to our commercials. I won't stand for it. I don't care if you got Bob Dylan on it. It doesn't matter. You stick to a minute. You're not special. Now, I don't know if Honda planned their commercial to be this way, and if they did, it means they rigged the Super Bowl. But when Bruce Willis said, great game, right? That was probably the only thing I laughed at the entire night on commercials. And it wasn't intended to be that way, I hope. And if it was, Honda, you're very sneaky and I no longer trust you. To be honest, I never trusted you. But now I never trust you more. Jeep Cherokee did an ad that could have been seen during normal daytime television. It was boring. It was just a Jeep driving out in the wilderness. Wow. You could not be any more non-creative. Beige, Jeep. You're very beige. But the one car commercial that really got under my skin, that was essentially the biggest metaphorical male genitalia slap to the American public's face, was the Maserati commercial. And then those sea-suckers, on top of everything else, decided to make their message that they're an underdog. I'm sorry, but their price tag is more than what the American public makes in a year. And if we want a sports car, we're gonna buy American. A 2014 Chevrolet Corvette. So Super Bowl 48, I would just like to say, you suck, and I can't wait to erase you from my memory. This has been Katie from Beauty's Got Muscle. And then back to the ladies who are hopefully a little bit more positive and happier than I am at this current moment of Heels on Wheels.
Thank you, Katie, for that always welcomed entertainment. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So it is time for our racing roundtable, and this week we're talking about media. And Krista, I'm going to let you kind of take this over from here. You had posted on Facebook about some things you were wondering about, and what was the reply that you got?
You know, I'm still stuck on Katie, and I can't believe Maserati actually aired a commercial during the Super Bowl. But okay, so my Facebook post today was actually about print and magazine, like physical print media being a dying form of journalism. And, you know, I got mixed reviews, but I mean, you know, I got guys and girls that follow me from all age groups, all genres of the motorsports industry. And it still remains very positive that people read magazines. People read printed journalism. I mean, what do you guys think?
I mean, I love sitting down and reading a magazine and reading what people have to say, because you can't get people's opinions out of a picture or something like that. So I love sitting down and reading them. Sometimes they're a little wordy just to fill up space, and you don't really need to read the whole article. You could just look at the picture. But I mean, I like sitting down and being able to open a magazine and read it.
Diana, I mean, do you still read magazines? What is your feeling on this?
Well, thank you. I've been in journalism for 14 years and gotten my journalism degree later in life. And the first thing my teacher told me, my actual professor, said, you know, you guys might want to rethink this because it's dying, and especially in print. And he's right. I live in, I think, the 6th largest media market. And I'm seeing seasoned, like 20, 30, 40, 50 years, journalists being laid off left and right just because, you know, they can't afford to be kept anymore. I've seen seasoned automotive journalists even who used to get thousands of dollars a story, barely scraping by. I personally know of a female automotive journalist who's been in the industry for like 30 years. She's driven in like 70 countries, and she could command any price tag she wanted. And now she barely gets a fair rate. She's, you know, basically almost getting the same type of rates as somebody who's just coming into the field. And as a journalist, I think that's really, I think it's not only infuriating, but I think it's just really sad. And so, I appreciate that post because it really opened up a lot of thoughts and minds. And yeah, me personally, absolutely, give it to me in print. Give it to me. I want to see photography involved. I don't want to just see words. I want to see some action. I want to see some pictures that mean something. I want to see some videos. Give me the complete spectrum. But unfortunately, in every aspect, yeah, journalism is dying, and unfortunately, you got to really weed through who really is a journalist and who isn't.
So, I mean, we are in radio. I mean, that's the whole reason we're here. And I love radio. I love being able to hear the conversations between people and the attitudes and the opinions that you can't get in a magazine. So, I mean, there is that stance to it, I think, too. But, I mean, going back to what Diana said about pictures, anybody these days is a photographer. And that's the thing that really gets me. These days, anybody can be a photographer, anybody can be a journalist, and we don't need to go to that. I think that's why it's dying, because there's too much nonsense. Go back to the real journalists, the real photographers that can put a story together.
So I have a question for you, right? So it's getting diluted, right? Do you think that is heavily based on this big social media presence nowadays as opposed to when we were younger?
Oh, for sure. I mean, anybody can just put their pictures up there and they do whatever they please with them. I mean, anybody can have a super camera that can do anything, you know, all the filters, all the stuff to make the pictures cool, but you still have to know how to take a picture. You still have to know how to put an article together.
Well, let me give you this little tidbit, right? So we say that print is a dying media, but Newsweek actually announced that they are coming back with their printed publication. I believe it's going to be this coming year. because they, instead of paying for it with advertising, they're going to use the subscriber fees to pay for their actual print media. What do you think of that?
I mean, I've seen a lot of that too. People are starting to bring back their magazines, but they're all going online. A lot of people aren't actually printing them anymore. It's a online magazine. And I mean, that's okay, but there's just something about, like I've always said, there's something about holding a book, holding a magazine, turning the page that you can't get on your tablet or your computer.
And another thing, one more stat I want to throw out there is that actually there's an article that says print media is actually the prime method for long journalist pieces, long journalism, not just captions or very short blurbs in the news.
Yeah.
So they see that that's still the prime method of getting that across to people, and that it's still very successful, at that they have good feedback.
Yeah, I mean, for long stories like that, I think a magazine or something like that is the best place to put it, just because you can fill the space with pictures, you can fill ads and stuff around it. That way you don't feel like you're reading a book. You know, for long articles, you put them in the magazine and they just kind of flow.
You can't really skip around in the magazine as much as you can, when you have all these digital ads and different, stories popping up left and right.
Yeah.
So you definitely can focus more. And I really, I'm thinking about what you just said, Krista, about Newsweek coming back. I think that really is I see that being extremely feasible, mainly for the facts of the matter that who's their demographic? Their demographic is definitely going to be from an older generation. And those are the ones that still order the newspaper. Those are the ones that, still want their Newsweek. They still want their magazine. So that makes a lot of sense to me, and it definitely sounds like it's going to be a good deal for them.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there. The older generation is definitely going to be the ones looking forward to the older style media, I guess. And that's what this all boils down to. There's so much media out there and it's everywhere. And, celebrities can't get away from it. We love to read it, but we hate to have it. Media is crazy. The whole media side is crazy.
My final thoughts about print media is if I want to go and take an enormous long crap, I want something to read. And I want a newspaper or I want a magazine. I do not want to play on my cell phone while I am visiting this. And maybe I'm old school.
I don't even know where we go from here. Bob, the producer, is literally dying next to me. So, yeah, where do we even go?
Thank you.
I think Krista just wrapped that up for us. So print media, I think all three of us are in agreement. We like it. We like to have it. We like to have it in front of us for different reasons than others, maybe. So that is a wrap for this week's edition of the Heels on Wheels radio program. We'll be back next week with even more amazing guests. Thanks to our guests this week, the fastest woman on water, Lisa Matthews, and motorcycle stunt woman, Leah Petersen. Find out more about KDP and Beauty's Got Muscle by visiting www.beautysgotmuscle.com or on Facebook. And for more tailgating recipes, like Chef Sizzlin Scotty's Facebook page, facebook.com/tailgategrillin with Sizzlin Scotty. Our shows are now posted on YouTube, so make sure you look those up using Heels on Wheels PMN, and you can listen to all of our shows so far this year. Our hosts have been Stacey Grammer, Krista Elise, and Diana Clausen. Thanks to our production engineer and programming consultant, Bob Steele. I'm the executive producer, Taylor Hyatt. Thanks for listening, and let's go racing.
Heels on Wheels is a copyrighted production of www.performancemotorsportsnetwork.com, a member of the Scorpion Radio Group, Incorporated, and may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit written permission of PMN. Check out our Facebook page, Heels on Wheels Radio Show, or our section on the PMN website. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and ownership of either PMN or Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated. Be listening next week as the fastest women on the planet rev it up and talk racing.
Heart starts pumping.